There is a kind of wealth that the world does not recognize. It does not glitter in storefront windows, it does not trend on social media, and it does not always sit in a bank account. Yet, it is real, it is powerful, it is divinely placed. Throughout Scripture, we see that God often hides treasure in unexpected places. He hid a nation's deliverer in a basket among reeds. He hid a king in the fields tending sheep. He hid the Savior of the world in a manger. In the same way, the wealth of a chosen woman is rarely where the world expects it to be. It is not always in status or applause. It is often hidden beneath layers of struggle, humility, silence, and faith, and only those with spiritual eyes can see it. If you are a chosen woman, you may have wondered why your life has felt different, why your path has not been easy, why you have had to fight silent battles, why you have carried responsibilities beyond your years. What if the very places that felt like limitations were actually hiding places? What if God concealed your greatest wealth in areas that required patience, character, and spiritual depth to access? Today we uncover 9 places where God often hides the wealth of a chosen woman. And when you understand this, you will stop despising your journey and start honoring it. God hid her wealth in her pain. Pain is never wasted in the hands of God. What feels like breaking is often building. The chosen woman often carries scars that no one sees. She has smiled in rooms where her heart was aching. She has comforted others while quietly bleeding inside. She has cried in secret, endured betrayal from those she trusted, faced rejection that questioned her worth, and survived storms that could have shattered her identity. There were nights she lay awake replaying conversations, wondering what she could have done differently. There were seasons when she felt misunderstood, overlooked, and emotionally exhausted. Yet within that pain, God hid compassion. He hid wisdom. He hid emotional intelligence that could not have been formed any other way. Her tears became her training ground. Every disappointment stretched her capacity to understand human fragility. Every heartbreak deepened her empathy. While others hardened and built walls, she softened and built depth. While others closed off their hearts for protection, she learned discernment without losing tenderness. Her pain became the birthplace of spiritual awareness. It taught her to read between the lines. It taught her to listen beyond words. It taught her that strength is not loud. It is steady. What tried to crush her actually refined her. The pressure removed pride. The fire removed illusion. The loneliness revealed her dependence on God. In her lowest moments, she discovered resilience she didn't know she possessed. She discovered that survival was not the end goal. Transformation was. The wealth hidden in her pain is not material. It is the ability to heal others because she knows what healing requires. She does not offer shallow encouragement. She offers understanding. She does not judge brokenness. She recognizes it. Her story carries credibility because she has lived it. Her presence feels safe because she has known unsafe spaces. Her compassion is not theoretical. It is experiential. Pain carved depth into her soul, and depth is rare. The woman who has suffered and still chooses love carries a treasure that cannot be stolen. God did not cause her pain, but He consecrated it, and what is consecrated becomes powerful. 2. God hid her wealth in her waiting. Waiting seasons feel like delays, but they are divine development. To the outside world, waiting appears passive. But in the life of a chosen woman, waiting is active refinement. She often waits for clarity when confusion surrounds her, waits for opportunities when doors seem closed, waits for promises to unfold when circumstances contradict them. There are seasons when it feels like everyone else is moving ahead while she remains still. Social timelines mock her. Comparisons whisper doubt. Yet heaven is not in a hurry. Waiting is not emptiness. It is preparation disguised as silence. In the waiting, God strengthens her patience, sharpens her intuition, and deepens her faith. He removes impulsiveness. He teaches her to sit with uncertainty without panicking. She learns not to rush what heaven is still shaping. She learns that premature arrival can damage long-term destiny. So she becomes comfortable in the in-between. While the world celebrates speed, she learns endurance. And endurance is wealth. Because endurance builds emotional stability. It builds self-trust. It builds spiritual stamina. The waiting season reveals motives. It exposes impatience. It purifies desire. She begins to understand that not every opportunity is aligned. Not every door is divine. Not every delay is denial. In waiting, her character expands. She learns discipline without applause. She learns consistency without recognition. She learns obedience without immediate reward. This builds an inner architecture that cannot collapse under pressure. By the time her moment arrives, she is not desperate. She is prepared. She is not frantic. She is focused. She is not fragile. She is fortified. The wealth hidden in her waiting is maturity. It is the calm confidence of someone who knows timing matters. It is the wisdom to discern when to move and when to remain still. Waiting taught her that God works beneath the surface before he reveals results. Roots grow before fruit appears. So when her season finally shifts, she does not fumble it. She does not sabotage it. She sustains it, because waiting did not weaken her. It established her. And establishment is wealth that lasts beyond the moment. 3. God hid her wealth in her obedience. Obedience is not glamorous. It is rarely celebrated. It often requires surrender when you would rather rebel. The chosen woman has faced moments when following God cost her comfort. She has walked away from relationships that felt familiar but were misaligned. She has declined opportunities that looked attractive but lacked peace. She has chosen integrity over popularity. And each time, obedience felt lonely. Obedience often happens in private. No audience, no applause, no validation, just conviction. Just a quiet knowing that this is the right path, even if it is not the easiest one. There were moments she questioned whether obedience was worth it. Moments when compromise would have been faster. Moments when silence would have been safer. But she obeyed anyway. In those quiet acts of obedience, God deposited favor. Obedience builds trust between heaven and earth. And trust is currency in the spiritual realm. When she obeys small instructions, she proves her stewardship of greater responsibility. Obedience aligns her steps with divine orchestration. What looks like coincidence later is often the result of earlier obedience. Because she obeyed in private, she will be elevated in public. Because she surrendered her will, she gained divine direction. Obedience trains discernment. It sharpens spiritual hearing. It reduces chaos. It protects destiny from self-sabotage. It teaches her that delayed gratification is stronger than instant reward. The wealth hidden in her obedience is divine alignment, doors opening that she did not force, opportunities appearing without manipulation, connections forming without striving. When alignment exists, effort becomes effective. She no longer pushes against closed doors. She flows toward open ones. Obedience shaped her character. It disciplined her emotions. It taught her humility. And humility attracts grace. What she gave up temporarily, she regains permanently in a purer form. Obedience did not shrink her life. It secured it. And when others wonder how she arrived where she is, they will not see the years of quiet surrender. But heaven remembers. And heaven rewards what the world overlooks. 4. God hid her wealth in her voice. For a long time, she may have felt silenced. Interrupted, overlooked in conversations, spoken over in rooms that underestimated her presence. Perhaps she was taught to be quiet, to shrink, to soften her opinion so others would feel comfortable. Perhaps her voice was dismissed in childhood, causing her to question its value. But God was refining her voice even in silence. Silence was not suppression. It was preparation. In silence, she observed. She listened. She learned tone, timing, and truth. A chosen woman carries words that carry weight because they are not careless. They are considered. They are measured. They are intentional. Her voice is not loud for attention. It is clear for impact. Her words can uplift the discouraged and correct the misguided without humiliation. She knows how to speak truth wrapped in grace. Whether through speaking, writing, praying, mentoring, or nurturing, her words are seeds, and seeds create harvests. Every sentence she releases carries potential. Her voice can shift atmospheres. It can calm tension. It can ignite courage. God hid wealth in her ability to communicate truth with wisdom. When she speaks, chains break, not because of volume, but because of authority. When she encourages, faith rises, not because of theatrics, but because of authenticity. Her voice carries lived experience. It carries conviction. It carries spiritual backing. She has learned when to speak and when to remain silent. That balance is rare. Many speak without discernment. Many stay silent out of fear. But she speaks with clarity and restraint. Her voice does not chase validation. It releases purpose. The wealth hidden in her voice is influence. Not manipulation, but influence rooted in integrity. People trust her words because they sense sincerity. Her voice builds. It restores. It strengthens. It awakens dormant potential in others. Her voice is not noise. It is authority wrapped in gentleness. And when she fully embraces it, she will realize it was never small. It was simply being sharpened for the right season. 5. God hid her wealth in her discernment. Discernment is a treasure that cannot be bought, borrowed, or learned from books alone. It is cultivated through experiences, observations, and spiritual sensitivity. The chosen woman often notices what others overlook. She reads atmospheres before anyone else reacts. She senses tension in rooms before it erupts. She detects intentions hidden behind smiles, words, or gestures. She feels shifts in energy before they become visible. This ability is not coincidence. It is divine insight. God has hidden wealth in her sensitivity, sharpening her mind and heart to distinguish truth from illusion. Discernment protects her from pitfalls that would derail her growth. It allows her to navigate social, emotional, and spiritual landscapes with wisdom that others envy but cannot replicate. While some are easily deceived by appearances, she perceives the undercurrents of reality. She knows when a promise is authentic and when it is a trap. She senses alignment versus misalignment without needing external confirmation. This is a skill formed in trial, honed in prayer, and reinforced by reflection. The chosen woman often endures challenges not to punish her, but to cultivate the sharpness of perception that becomes one of her most valuable treasures. This wealth saves her time, heartbreak, and energy. Life is less chaotic when discernment guides decisions. She does not invest emotionally in unworthy pursuits. She does not attach to toxicity, nor does she overextend in spaces that deplete her. Her ability to read beyond appearances multiplies her impact. She recognizes potential where others only see problems, opportunities where others only see obstacles, and alignment where others only see confusion. Her insight shapes the quality of her relationships, her career, and her spiritual journey. Discernment also enhances leadership. People naturally follow those who can see what others cannot, who sense the invisible patterns shaping outcomes. Her presence feels stabilizing because she operates with clarity. She saves others from unnecessary errors by guiding them with intuition rooted in divine wisdom. While discernment is quiet, it is mighty. It preserves her peace, protects her destiny, and positions her to influence the world strategically. What is protected multiplies, and her ability to see beyond the obvious ensures that she grows not just personally, but generationally. This is a hidden richness few recognize, yet it is priceless in both practical and spiritual terms. God hid her wealth in her capacity to nurture. Nurturing is often underestimated. The world sees it as simple caretaking, yet it is one of the most creative and transformative powers a person can possess. The chosen woman carries the ability to grow what she touches, whether it is people, ideas, relationships, or communities. She perceives potential that others dismiss. She invests time, love, and energy into things not yet fully formed, trusting that growth requires patience and consistency. Her nurturing spirit is deliberate, not passive. She waters seeds of promise, cultivates confidence in those around her, and encourages growth where doubt might otherwise take root. This capacity to nurture is a unique form of wealth. It creates exponential impact. When she builds, her influence extends beyond herself. Children she raises, communities she invests in, and ideas she champions carry forward, bearing fruit long after she has moved on. She is not seeking recognition or reward. Her work is generative. It multiplies life. She instills belief where others might see failure. She models patience, resilience, and vision. This is not weakness. It is extraordinary power. It requires courage to give attention, time, and care when the outcome is uncertain. To nurture is to take responsibility for growth that is bigger than oneself. God hid wealth in her nurturing capacity because it transcends generations. The people she empowers may never fully understand the origins of their confidence, wisdom, or success. They only know it exists because someone cared enough to invest. Her influence becomes legacy. Her faith in the potential of others ensures that what she builds continues beyond her physical presence. Nurturing creates networks of transformation. It aligns with divine principles of multiplication. A small act, consistently applied, yields abundant return. Her wealth in nurturing is also spiritual. Through her giving and care, she mirrors God's own heart for creation, modeling stewardship, protection, and love. Nurturing sharpens empathy, deepens compassion, and strengthens patience, all qualities that enrich her own life as she uplifts others. It connects her to purpose, providing fulfillment that material wealth cannot. She grows alongside what she nurtures. Every life she touches carries a reflection of her investment, and this, ultimately, is the kind of wealth that outlives time and transcends circumstance. God hid her wealth in her isolation. Isolation feels lonely, often painful, yet in divine design it can be sacred. The chosen woman has endured seasons where she felt misunderstood, unseen, or disconnected. Friends may have walked away, conversations may have faltered, and validation may have been scarce. In these seasons, it would have been easy to despair, to crave acceptance or try to force belonging. But God uses isolation not as punishment, but as preparation. It creates a quiet space for reflection, intimacy, and identity formation. In isolation, she hears God's voice more clearly. Distractions are minimized. She is forced to confront her own thoughts, desires, and calling. She discovers strengths she didn't know existed and weaknesses she needs to refine. Without the noise of the world, clarity emerges. Who she truly is begins to outshine who she thought she needed to be. She develops independence that does not border on isolation-induced arrogance, but rests in quiet self-sufficiency grounded in faith. Her self-esteem is no longer borrowed from external validation. It is rooted in truth. Isolation also protects. In her seclusion, she avoids manipulation, unhealthy attachments, and misaligned opportunities. She learns to distinguish authentic connection from temporary convenience. This protection allows her to emerge with a sharper vision, ready to step into her destiny without compromise. The wealth hidden in her isolation is clarity, and clarity is priceless. Once identity and purpose are firmly anchored, external circumstances lose their power to destabilize her. She becomes resilient, self-aware, and unwavering. Through isolation, she develops spiritual depth, emotional fortitude, and strategic foresight. What felt like abandonment transforms into alignment. What felt like emptiness becomes fullness of purpose. God's timing ensures that she emerges from solitude equipped not just to survive, but to thrive. In these sacred, quiet seasons, the wealth accumulated is intangible, yet invaluable. Confidence, clarity, discernment, and a profound sense of divine intimacy that cannot be replicated elsewhere. God hid her wealth in her forgiveness. Forgiveness is often mistaken for weakness, yet it is one of the most powerful forms of wealth. The chosen woman has experienced betrayal, pain, and disappointment. She has every reason to hold grudges, to carry resentment, to let bitterness harden her heart. But she chooses release over revenge. She understands that unforgiveness traps her in cycles of anger, regret, and emotional stagnation. By forgiving, she unchains herself from the burdens others placed upon her, freeing her spirit to pursue purpose without obstruction. Forgiveness requires courage. It is not simply forgetting. It is releasing control over justice and timing. She forgives not because the offender deserves it, but because her own soul demands it. This is a form of wealth that cannot be quantified. Freedom of the heart, lightness of spirit, and resilience of character. She does not allow bitterness to dictate her behavior or limit her destiny. Each act of forgiveness expands her capacity for love and empathy, opening doors for divine favor that bitterness would have blocked. God hid wealth in her ability to let go because peace attracts blessing. A heart that remains soft, even after hurt, mirrors divine nature. It aligns with heaven's rhythm. Forgiveness ensures continuity, growth, and relational harmony. It enables her to maintain connection with her spiritual path while moving beyond toxic attachments. She becomes an example of strength, teaching that true power lies not in retaliation but in release. Her freedom is her wealth. Peace is her inheritance. In choosing forgiveness, she demonstrates maturity, self-mastery, and a profound understanding of divine justice. Through forgiveness, she preserves her own energy, elevates her spiritual awareness, and sets an example of grace in a world quick to condemn. Her life reflects abundance, not material, but in spirit, love, and influence. Each act of forgiveness multiplies value in ways unseen, yet impactful. 9. God hid her wealth in her faith. Above all, the greatest wealth the chosen woman possesses is her faith. Faith is the invisible capital that sustains hope when circumstances contradict promise. It is the steady anchor when storms rage. Faith is not mere belief. It is unwavering trust in unseen realities, in divine timing, and in God's orchestration. She has stood in doubt-filled rooms, watched doors close, faced disappointment after disappointment, yet her trust has remained unshaken. Faith fuels her resilience, strengthens her perseverance, and shapes her perception of the impossible as possible. Faith empowers her to act courageously without immediate results. It allows her to risk, invest, and love in ways others cannot because she trusts outcomes to a power beyond herself. Where logic fails, faith guides. Where emotion wavers, faith steadies. Her belief system does not just influence her mindset, it molds her destiny. Mountains of challenge bow to consistent, unwavering belief. Her faith is a spiritual investment, compounding in ways that material wealth never can. It positions her to receive opportunities, navigate trials, and cultivate miracles. Faith also shapes influence. Others look at her life and sense a deep-rooted assurance that transcends circumstance. People are drawn to her because faith generates confidence, calm, and clarity. It is visible not in boastful displays, but in consistency, patience, and persistence. This wealth cannot be stolen, borrowed, or diminished by external events. It is secured within her character, spirit, and relationship with God. God hid wealth in her faith because it sustains every other form of treasure she carries. Pain is transformed through faith. Waiting is endured with hope. Obedience is followed without hesitation. Her voice carries authority. Her discernment is sharp. Her nurturing bears fruit. Her isolation brings clarity. Her forgiveness releases power. Faith is the root, the foundation, and the invisible current that gives life to every other aspect of her divine wealth. A woman who believes deeply cannot be easily defeated, discouraged, or derailed. Her faith is both inheritance and legacy, the most enduring treasure of all. This is the Woman of Light channel. If this message found you at the exact moment you needed it, that is not coincidence, it is confirmation. The wealth of a chosen woman is not accidental. It is intentional. It is layered. It is divine. Stop searching for treasure in places where God never placed it. Look within the seasons you survived, the tears you shed, the obedience you practiced, the faith you carried. That is where your wealth is hidden. And if you received this word at the perfect time in your life, type 11. 11 in the comments section as a sign of alignment and divine blessing. Don't forget to subscribe so you never miss a message meant to awaken the treasure within you. Thank you for watching.